One of the things that's important to be able to do when working with Java and especially the IntelliJ tools is to be able to create a new project and understand where that project lives within your system. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through creating a very basic Java project and also walk you through where that code actually lives and how that project is structured. Now, one of the things you want to do is to get in the habit of keeping your projects someplace where you know where they're at. I'm going to create, in my case, a folder here on my C drive. In my case, I'm going to call development. And within that folder, I'm going to create another folder here that I'm going to call CS 1011. And inside of this folder is where I'm going to place all of the projects that I'm going to do for this lab. Now in this case, it's just going to be one demo project. Okay, so that exists. That is C:\development CS 1011, like so. Now, if I am in IntelliJ here, I can start it up and I'll have a screen that looks like this. There's not really a whole lot on the screen. You can see I created a project previously in D:\temp. What I want to do is I want to create a new project. So this new project, I'm going to simply click on Create New Project, and it's going to give me a lot of different options. Ignore all of them for right now. What we're going to do is we're going to create a Java project. Future courses, when you get into the second programming course, you're going to create a Java FX project. Um, excuse me. There are some things that are probably not set up right now to make a Java FX. If you wanted to do Android development, there'd be some other tools, and you could do that as well. But for right now, we're going to create just a Java project. The SDK that we're going to use is Java 13. That's the one that was previously installed on your system so that you're able to go. We click on Next. We're not going to create, in this case, a template or anything like that. And we're going to come up with a name. So I'm going to call this Demo Project. And the project location, this is where I'm going to browse. So I'm going to browse and place this in that C:\development CS1011 directory. And it's again called Demo Project. I click on Finish, and of course it opened up on the other screen, but if I drag the tool back across here so you can see it, you can see that I have this project here, and there's a source folder that exists right now. So within this source, now what I can do is I can create a new Java class, and I'm going to call this class, since I have nothing better, adder demo, excuse me. And here is my class. We'll go through more depth what this means later on. And I'm going to declare a scanner. Whoops. Static scanner keyboard equals new scanner system.in, like so. And I need to make sure that is imported. We'll talk about what that means later on. And of course, every Java program has a main. So public static void main string args, like so. And my algorithm is going to be read a number from the user. Read a second number from the user. Print out the sum of the numbers, like so. Very complex program we're about to write. So, to read a number from the user, I'm going to prompt them system.out.println. Enter a number. Oops. Like so. Int number 1 equals keyboard dot next int, like so. Read a second number. System.out.println. Enter a second number. And I should probably spell number right, like so. Int number 2 equals keyboard dot next int, like so. So I'm going to read the second number in, print out the sum of the two numbers, int sum equals number 1 plus number 2, system.out.println. The sum is colon plus sum. You can see that this is a very, very, again, complicated program. So I've created this program. Now what I would like to do is save it like so. And I want to go up here and build it just to make sure there's no mistakes. We see it goes, it builds, it was successful. Now, I'm also going to really quickly demonstrate what would happen if I tried to build it and there was a syntax error. So I'm going to take a very, very trivial but common syntax error. What happens if I forget to put a semicolon on the end? Now you'll notice there's kind of a red squiggle there. We've got some red lines all around. If I save my project and build it now, what will end up happening is I'm going to get this error. It's going to say there is a semicolon expected. And it will, in this case, take us nicely there and we can correct it. That's not always the case with every error that occurs, but in this particular case, it's very, very useful to show us what happened. Okay, so I've got this. I can build it again now that it's fixed. I can go ahead here and run the code, add our demo, enter a number. 5, enter a second number. 7, the sum is 12. 5 plus 7 is 12. I can also go through here and essentially if I set a breakpoint by double clicking over there, you see the little red stop sign. If I go to debug, now what will happen is the code will run, it will stop right there, and I can use the debugging symbol or debugging code, see, F8, F7, so on and so forth. So I'm going to press F8 and we'll see that on the console it printed out enter a number. Now we're waiting in that place. I can enter my 6. We go to the next line. I'm going to press F8 again to go over to the next line. Enter a second number, I don't know, 9. F8. F8. The sum is 15, and we are all set to go. Okay, so this is my project, all finished. Let's take a look at what actually got created. So I'm going to, excuse me, close my project. Was still kind of running, and what I want to do is show you the structure of what was created. So if I go into 1011, we see that there is a project in here that's created. It's got a source code and an output directory like so in this folder. Now what you'll want to do that I didn't do in this particular case is typically create a folder here, for example, called lab1. And these files actually should be, for example, inside of that folder like so. I should have actually done that before I created things so that you have that file. When I want to go to turn this in, what I simply want to do is take and send this to a compressed or zip folder. You're going to see it say lab1.zip in this case. That I can then upload into Blackboard when I make my lab submission. So at this point, what we've done is we've created a project, we've written some code, we've compiled it. I've shown you a very, very trivial debugging exercise. I've single-stepped through the code. You've seen the highest level capabilities of how to use the IntelliJ environment with Java. That's going to bring this demonstration video to a conclusion.